Shalom. All praises, honor, glory, blessings, and power be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and a huge hearty shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000 and one third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon you and your households as we approach the end. Now, significant things are happening around the world. Okay. We're seeing the skirt being lifted of Satan. Okay. Satan casting out Satan. All right. And also, the truth on Esau coming out. All right. Let's get a scripture before I say anything else. Skirts. I'm just going to talk about the military conscription or draft. In the UK, they call it the conscription, which is basically the military draft. Excuse me. Right. Where are we? Jeremiah. Jeremiah 13:26. Therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. And we know what these steens and these steens or these EP steens and all that kind of thing, or the truth coming out about Esau, Edom, about how foul they are. And that's why when all this truth is coming out, if you see there's a surge of bullshit online, a whole bunch of free movies, and I've also noticed that certain comments are being deleted of certain channels on YouTube as well. So there's comments are left there to sort of because most people, if they get pissed off with something so-called racist or something that they don't like, people click on it and have it removed. Right? They report it. That's not being done right now because I tested it out myself on certain channels. I'm not going to say no more, but they're leaving certain comments there. Reason being is so it can ignite the flames of civil war or violence amongst people and anger. There's that aspect, and also they're pumping in a whole. I mean, now they're talking about what's that? That Rihanna chick? It's about somebody trying to burn a house or whatever. All sorts of ninja news to take Jake away from what's really going on, so they keep their heads buried in the sand, and the rest of the world too. Getting them engrossed in nostalgia and thinking about the past and how the world used to be, and music and synthwave and 80s movies, and how the world used to look in Los Angeles, how it used to be in the 70s and 80s, how England used to be in that era as well. People are getting lost in that nostalgia and being, crying in the corner. Okay. But the elect, the hopeful elect right now, okay, are focused, straight tunnel vision, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, the men of the Lord, the men of Great Millstone, are bringing out the truth. And by the way, double honors to the. I did say that, didn't I? Slake, but once again, double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Okay, okay. So the hopeful elect, we're staying focused. All right, and the shame is being shown. I mean, listen, when your own race of women are speaking the truth, right? Okay, you know how shameful it was back in the day, back in the school playground, where when you get your ass whooped in front of some pretty girls, that you were 12 years old and you like this girl or whatever, with a bunch of cute girls. I remember, I'm talking from a point of view of a 12-year-old young boy that's fighting 12-year-old young lads in the playground in school, and 12-year-old young girls are watching. So this is a 12-year-old situation, like, right? When you're young, it's embarrassing. Like that scene in House Party, when those bullies, I forgot their name, the group, the Swole group, what were they called? In House Party, when Kid and Play sort of dissed them, and they came to the house to try and get in, and they got dissed in front of the girls, and they said, we got dissed in front of the effing girls, It's embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing. Now their own women, their race of women, the Edomite woman, is spewing a bunch of truth. And who the real criminals and the culprits and the trouble, or the people that are causing all the problems. They're lifting up the skirt spiritually on who the problem of the earth is, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, and when your own race of women come against you, and especially attractive women as well, all right, your own race of women, it's over for you. All right, it's over for you, devils. Okay, and now I'm going to go to Revelation 11:14. Now, along with that, you know, all these things are happening in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yashai, because the Lord is controlling both sides, the right and the left. Isaiah 45 verse 7. Okay, the Lord controls peace and evil, good and bad. All right, loosely paraphrasing. And the Lord is making everything happen in a beautiful divine way, so things can kick off. All right. But before World War III takes place, the charagma, the micro sihip, which is Revelation 13:16, which will be the new way people will be buying and selling. Revelation 13:16, which will be actually be a physical device inserted into the flesh. It could be a forehead, it could be a hand, it could be your left butt cheek. All right, but the fact remains, it will be the new form for people that will take it to buy and sell. But the elect are not going to take it. All right. Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Woe means evil times, bad times, destruction. World War III is coming. It's around the corner. Now they're trying to appease you that conscription or military draft won't happen. It's not set in stone, as they say, but it's basically like something that's still on the table, which hasn't been deleted or hasn't been crossed out, which means it's still an option. Hence the reason why they're mentioning it. So you get used to it, so you get used to it, so you get used to it. If it wasn't an option, they wouldn't bring it up. Okay? They're bringing it up because they're actually going to do it. Okay? It's revelation of the method. All right? Revelation of the method. Okay? They're going to do it. They're just trying to soften you up, soften the blows so you can get your mind right. You know? But it's going to happen. All right. Could there be a military draft? Trump administration says it's on. It's on the table or on the table, right? This, excuse me, Caroline Levitt, who's a press secretary. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to go to the key parts. We know what's going on in Iran. Okay, as the United States continues to strike Iran roughly 10 days since ordered by President Donald Trump, questions about how long the war may last have been coupled with the prospect of a military draft that administration officials admit remains on the table. See, it remains on the table. Okay? So they're letting you know there's a strong possibility it will happen, and it will happen because it is what? Prophecy. Okay? I'm going to go to Second Esdras. Into the Second Esdras. All right, and this is going to usher in Isaiah 4:1, because there's not going to be many men left. All right, a lot of you Jakes are going to be drafted in. All right, and a lot of women, a lot of Edomite men, everyone's going to be drafted in. But what's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of women left over. All right, a bunch of women left over. Okay, which will need a covering. And this is like I said, in Spirit and Power Yahweh Bashem Mashai, this is all divine. The Lord has ordained this to happen. So once these men are gone, those women are going to be left over for the elect men, if they wish to. I hate to say that you use the word "wish," but we're using this worldly English. If they wish to deal with these women, okay. Second Esdras 16:33. Actually, you know what? I need to get more. 16. All right. Okay. Second Ezra 16:33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Okay. And this is leading to Isaiah 4:1. 7 women to 1 man. It could be 70 women. It could be 80 women. It could be 100 women, or how it could be 5 women. Whatever the Lord has blessed each elect member to get. That's if Um, you know, some jakes will get the women, some jakes won't. However the Lord has ordained it. But a lot of these women will be left over for the elect men. Hence the reason why simultaneously at the same time, pursuant to Joel 2:28, all right, people having visions and dreams. All right. A lot of our prophets and teachers of Great Millstone are having visions and dreams of, you know, um, being with, like moving, being pilgrims upon the earth when all hell breaks loose, moving with a bunch of women. I believe as a brother from Orlando or Florida, one of the Great Millstone camp had a vision or a dream, and he was with a whole bunch of Northern Kingdom women, Israelite women, and Southern Kingdom Israelite women. And you saw the image, right, in the thumbnail. It was like a bus, and he was driving it, and like probably about 15 to 20 women on that bus. So a lot of Jakes are having these visions and dreams. All right. Let's go to 16. 1 second. So it's all coming together, piece by piece, strategically by Yahweh Bashem Yashai. Just bear with me. I'm just going to get this. I'm getting up maybe. I read 2nd Ezra 16:33. Excuse me, folks. All right. All right, 2nd Ezra, let's go to 33 again. 2nd Ezra 16:33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Okay. Verse 35. Hear now these things and understand them. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai. Verse 36, behold, the word of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Okay? And everything's drawing nigh. Everything's coming together. Peace, but every ingredient is coming together. And we can see the demise of this world. All right? Let's go here again. See if there's anything else to read. Okay, so the military draft, all right, remains official. Military draft that administration officials admit remains on the table. You see the speech marks there, yeah? All right. See anything there? Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons and daughters get involved in this. Bartiromo said, what do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now. It has been, and it will continue to be, Levitt said. Right? President Trump wisely does not remove options off the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as a commander in chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. Okay. I want to read the part where it says your daughters will be taken. Where is it? Okay, I'll find it in a different part. 1 second. I'll read it from here. Okay, U.S. military draft. What 2026 conscription could look like. Conscription is basically the word draft. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to what Levitt was saying. That semi-attractive Edomite woman, the blonde. Where is that part I read, man? Okay. Levitt was asked on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures to give assurances to American mothers worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons and daughters get involved in this. Levitt replied that a draft was not part of President Donald Trump's plan right now, but that he wisely keeps his options on the table. So that means it's going to happen. All right. Green, a Republican former congresswoman from Georgia, posted on X that Levitt should have confirmed there would be no draft, no boots on the ground, because the GOP had campaigned on no more foreign wars or regime change. Liars, every single one of them. One of them. Not my son, over my dead body, said Green, formerly a staunch Trump supporter. See, a lot of people are turning their backs on Trump as well. See, even women and men that are former staunch Trump supporters, they don't want to send their sons and daughters over. You know, they don't want to send them. You know, people will say, okay, all these so-called rich elites, why don't they send their sons and daughters over? Did any of them ever serve? All right. In a follow-up post, she added, a bunch of psycho Republicans want to not only draft your sons, but your daughters too, prompting social media speculation about conscription, even though there are no immediate plans to enact the measure. It will happen, definitely happen. All right. Will there be a draft? The U.S. has employed conscription in 6 conflicts. All right. And this will be the 7th, right? And 7 means completion. The U.S. has employed conscription or military draft in 6 conflicts: Revolutionary War, Civil War, World War One, World War Two, and World War One and World War Two are all biblical. It's in the scriptures. World War One, okay. Korea and Vietnam. Active conscription ended in January 1973, right? Which will make it 53 years ago. And U.S. armed forces moved to an all volunteer military, or the conscription remains in place on a contingency basis. Contingency means a second option or plan B. All right? Let's get a definition of contingency, just in case if there's anything else juicy I can get out of that. Contingency definition. It remains on the table as a contingency plan. All right? Okay. It said contingency, right?
Contingency.
A future, oh, where we are. What the hell is it? Okay. A future event or circumstance which is possible but cannot be predicted with certainty. Okay. A detailed contract which attempts to provide for all possible contingencies. A provision for a possible event or circumstance. Okay. An incidental expense. Okay. Let's go to AI overview. A contingency is a potential future event, condition, or emergency that is possible but not certain, often requiring proactive planning, such as a contingency plan. It refers to something dependent on chance or uncertain circumstance. We already read Revelations 11:14. Okay, this is going to go down. All right, it's just a matter of time. Okay, just a matter of time. Okay, we already read Revelation 11:14. Let's go to World War One. Let's go to. We already read Revelation 11:14. Let's go to Revelation. Show you how real the Bible is. How that the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah is a real, true power, man. Revelation 9:12. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. Yeah? World War One, World War Two, and then we read what? All right. Let me just paraphrase Revelation 11:14 again. All right. Then I'm going to move to the UK here. And that's the same things happening in the UK as well. The military draft or conscription is on the table. So things are going down. All right. Let's go. Where the hell are we? All right. Revelation 11:14. Let's go there again. The second was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And we're at that point now. Okay. It's on the horizon. All right. But remember, before things go into full gear, full throttle, right? Revelation 13:16 has to be in full swing. So that means the financial crash is imminent. All right. Lord willing, it happens this year, sooner rather than later. Right? Now, let's go to my side of the world where I reside. Okay. This is from Sunday, 9th of March. Today's the 11th, okay? UK has no plans for conscription, but future decisions will respond to new reality, says Minister. The UK needs to recognize the world has changed and Europe has to step up in terms of its own defense, warns a Cabinet Office Minister. All right?
Keeping the peace is, of course, one of the issues here. Prime Minister has offered peacekeeping forces, but every military leader says that our 75,000 strong army can't possibly do this by itself or even fulfill the share of the peacekeeping that the Ukrainians want. I spoke to the Latvian president, and he says that he thinks that what Latvians are doing, which is conscription, should be considered by other European countries in order to make sure that we have the forces. Is that something that we would consider?
We're not considering conscription, but of course we've announced a major increase in defence expenditure a couple of weeks ago. And we do have to recognise that the world has changed here. The phrase step up is used a lot in recent weeks, and Europe does have to step up in terms of its own defence. President Trump isn't actually the first president to say that, but he said it
Indeed.
more loudly
Obama
and with more force than his predecessors. So I think we've got to recognise that moment. And there is another important point here. When the world is changing as fast as it is, it's important that we don't cling on to old assumptions. And I think the Prime Minister's played a tremendous role in recent weeks in responding to that situation and explaining it to the public. And that's why the decision on increasing defence expenditure was needed. And it may be why other decisions are needed in the future that respond to a new reality and that we don't find ourselves operating under the same assumptions we used to in the past when the situation has changed.
Okay, he said respond to a new reality, and he said things are moving real fast. Okay, Revelation 12 verse 12, the devil hath but a short time, all right? And the Lord is speeding up the time for what? The elect's sake. Okay, loosely paraphrasing some scriptures there. All right, short time. Okay, okay, the UK is not considering introducing conscription to ready the country for a potential war, but decisions may be needed in the future to respond to the new reality. Look, speech marks again. All right, the same things are being. It's the same sentiment on this side of the Atlantic and in Ground Zero Babylon. We are now living in a. We are now living in a minister has told Sky News. We are okay. But decisions may be needed in the future to respond to the new reality we are now living in. A minister has told Sky News. Okay. Trevor Phillips was at Jake interviewing the Edomite-looking person. Okay. Latvian President Edgars Rinkevics has urged European countries to follow his country's lead and absolutely introduce conscription. Conceding a continent is quite weak militarily. All right. So, if everybody around you, all the countries are fighting and they're doing the military draft, and you're the only one that hasn't pressed the go button yet, at some point you're going to have to do it. So hence the reason why these cards remain on the table. All right, and it's all prophecy anyway. And this World War III will kick off. Okay, hence the reason why I believe it was Elder Manatas Akbar of GMS South Carolina. Somebody had a dream about people or youngsters, young Jakes, wearing 90s or early 2000s outfits, army fatigue gear, whatever, and they were fighting. And then through the spirit, I made a comment saying that they're wearing 90s clothing because those Jakes were probably born in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. So they're going to be in their mid 20s, late 20s, maybe even 30s. They're going to be young men and even younger. All right. All these paraphrasing scripture, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. That's all these ninjas, right? Esau Edom's going to go in the fight too, all right? Because you've got a lot of gung ho 4th of July mentality people around the world. I'm not talking about just America. I'm just saying people. If you've seen the movie 4th of July, Born on the 4th of July, I believe it's called, Tom Cruise. You got still people like that still exist in this world, all right? Which is crazy, but yes, they do exist in this world, and they're going to be joining in droves, all right? And as mentioned, Isaiah 4 and 1. Okay, 7 women. All right, and they will be, 7 just means completion, and they'll be gravitating towards the men of the Lord. All right, all right. But this remains on the table. So our interview with Latvia's president is causing a stir. His call for European conscription, rejected by the UK government. Read more. Okay. Look at that. 16 European countries have some form of conscription. Austria, Croatia, Cyprus, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Greece, Latvia, Turkey, Switzerland, Sweden, Serbia, Poland, Norway, Moldova, Lithuania. Where's England? Here's England, right there. That small island, right? Going to be caught in the crossfire. So this is definitely going to go down. And he said the world is changing, all right, fast. Okay? Let me read Revelation 12, verse 12. All right. He said the world is changing fast, and indeed it is. Time is going fast. Where is he? Where are we? Okay. Let's go. Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, and at the same time, shortened days. I'll loosely paraphrase some scriptures. I just want to make sure that I get the full. We could read Matthew 24, 22, or Mark 13, 20. Let's just go to Matthew. Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right? And that's why, what did the guy say here? We are living in what? Right there. He added, that Edomite there, when the world is changing as fast as it is, it's important that we don't cling on to old assumptions. All right? Okay? It's basically like this. Okay? Loosely paraphrasing the scripture, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So they're not giving a definitive answer. Okay? They're saying yay, nay, or maybe. They're basically just saying maybe at the moment. All right? It's not a yes or it's not a no. It's definitely leaning more towards a yes. And it is going to be a yes because we know, okay, through prophecy, under the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, that it's going to go down. So it will be a yes. But right now they're just saying maybe just to appease, the people around the world, just to appease them. And a double-minded man is unstable. That's why you got these devils that are unstable. Battlefield is changing. Sir Keir Starmer has promised to increase defense spending to 2.5% of gross domestic product, or GDP, but has not set out when this will be achieved. Ministers say a defense review to be published this spring will set out a roadmap to it. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see. Shall I play this?
Speaking to Sky News, the president of Latvia said that other European countries should consider conscription. That's a policy that's existed in his country since 2023. So we came to the streets of Leeds to ask young men what they thought about the idea of fighting for their country.
I feel like the history written is not something that I'd really like to put my name behind. I wouldn't find myself being too stupid.
He said the history of Britain, I don't want to put myself behind. He's not proud of it. Didn't I just read that scripture earlier? That the skirts are being lifted on these devils and their truth is being shown. Loosely paraphrasing that scripture. They're embarrassed. Esau Edom is finding out. I mean, he looks like an Edomite. All right. Esau Edom isn't proud of rule Britannia. Britannia rules whatever. The way we know how that damn song goes, right? They're not proud of their queen and country anymore, or king and country. They're not proud of the British Empire, which is basically just a band of thieves glorified, all right, and murderers and enslavers.
From the heart of a country.
They thought about the idea of fighting for their country.
I feel like the history of Britain is not something that I'd really like to put my name behind. I wouldn't find myself being too proud to stand on the front lines of a country. Probably the colonisation aspect being the bigger aspect, especially
colonisation. He mentioned it. Let's hear that loveliness again.
History of Britain is not something
in his country since 2023. So we came to the streets of Leeds to ask young men what they thought about the idea of fighting for their country.
I
Leeds.
feel like the history of Britain is not something that I'd really like to put my name behind. I wouldn't find myself being proud to stand up for the lives of a country. Probably the colonisation aspect being the bigger aspect, especially kind of like the way that the political stance of the country is standing for itself at the moment.
I think I'd only fight if the country was actually actively under attack. If I had to go somewhere else to fight for their country, no. Because I think there's no need for us to fight someone else's war. Or...
Yeah, I think I'd fight for my country. Not many people want to fight for our country nowadays as much as they did years ago. So I think it would be more beneficial to have conscription in place.
I'm just not patriotic about this country, to be fair. That's just me.
That Edomite just said it'll be more beneficial to have conscription in place. I've got to hear that again. What did he just say? Did he just actually say that?
Years ago. So I think it would be more beneficial to have conscription in place.
He said because he's Gen Z, right? He said a lot of people, or I'm showing, he's probably like his friends, colleagues, or whatever, right? His peers, whatever, right? They probably speak amongst each other, right? And they're probably saying, "Nah, I don't want to join the damn army. I'm not doing that. I ain't fighting for this country. Fuck that." Right? And he's saying, right, a lot of people don't want to fight like they wanted to years ago, right? Okay. But he thinks a military draft would be a good idea.
I'm just not that.
Fight for our country nowadays as much as they did years ago. So I think it would be more beneficial to have conscription in place.
I'm just not patriotic about this country, to be fair. That's just me, though, isn't it?
I feel like I don't have as much sort of connection for fighting for what our country would be fighting for at the minute.
To be honest, I wouldn't really want conscription. I mean, I come from Syria, and that was a thing for a very long time. I think they've just stopped doing that now, and that's why people like me, or my father probably moved away from Syria because you don't want me having to go into the army. So yeah, I personally wouldn't agree with it just because I think that's why this country kind of serves me well.
The UK government has said it is not considering conscription, but decisions may be needed in the future to respond to a new reality we are now living in. Here in Leeds, as it will do across the country, the idea of compulsory military service continues to divide opinion.
There you go. That conscription is going to come. Some people have agreed. The Edomite said, yeah, conscription is a good idea. You saw that guy from Syria. He said, nah, he's not fighting for you. You saw Jake as well with the afro. He says, nah, man, I'm not going to, I'm not fighting for this country. I'm not too proud of this environment or whatever, right? But it's going to happen. It's going to come. All right. So the cards have been laid. Okay. The playbook is there. All praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. We are at the tail end of this kingdom. Okay. Once that MOTB is introduced, okay, and people are lined up like they were for the 1-9 thing many years ago or a few years ago to take the juicy juice, right? Okay. That's that. World War III is on. All praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakak Vadash. Shalom. Mawatha Bad Babal Kwam Yashrala Shalom.